pit stop. It's a pit stop. Pit stop. It's a pit stop. Pit stop. It's a pit stop. Pit stop.
Can I just try and say something? So I would like to say, Rob, you're my favorite, and we're not supposed to have favorites, but I don't care because you are.
And keeping the Purple Pants Podcast Pitstop coverage of Amazing Race Season 35, Brooke and I are over the moon excited to talk with our favorite team, even though we don't have favorites, but we have favorites, Rob and Cory. How are you guys doing today?
I couldn't agree more. It is an absolute roller coaster of emotions. I'm obviously still processing. You know, it's one thing to experience it, and then to rewatch the journey just brings out so much raw emotion that I'm sure both of you have experienced on your respective seasons on reality TV. It's a lot, but ultimately just such a blessing and the coolest experience of my entire life. I loved it. I really did. And we got to do the whole race. Phil can't tell me I'm eliminated. Come on. How do you beat that?
You don't beat that. That is really, really something. I didn't want to go home on leg one. And then it was, hey, maybe I can get halfway. And then it was, oh my God, I just want to get to the finish line. And there's nothing better. You went all the way around the world and you did it. And it wasn't the outcome that you had hoped for, but I think it's a safe question to ask. Are you guys ready for a second chance this season? Because I can't imagine they're not going to ask you to do it again.
You already know Roadblock Rob is in for another challenge, and I am there, like 100%. We're gonna follow in the Dave and Connor footsteps, and on our second time around, that's when we're taking home the first place.
Now,
Let's
Cory,
hope nobody gets seriously injured like Dave did in the Dave and Connor footsteps.
Cory,
Yeah, we'll be careful about which footsteps we take.
Exactly.
Cory, you know I love you, but I'm so excited to get to talk to Rob. And I really just want to say thank you, Rob. When I was in college, I lost my father. And so I don't normally get emotional when I watch, reality TV shows. They're sometimes my escape. And so to see the love that you have for Cory really got me so emotional. And so I just wanted to say, just thank you for being so amazing and just being such an amazing father. And I hope you know that you now have a new son and his name is Brice, because in my mind and heart, you are like a father to me. So I just wanted to say thank you so much just for sharing your journey with us. I would like to know,
Don't joke.
right?
Bryce is serious.
I know I really am. I would like to know, Rob, how are you dealing with this new found fandom, right? Like we love all the teams, but when I'm on the internet and I'm like on Twitter, all I see is Roadblock Rob. All I see is Rob. Like the world loves you. Like, how does that make you feel?
I always knew my dad was going to be the star. And I was so ready because I think he's so deserving of this spotlight. I really did. Like the moment we got onto the race, I was saying, first roadblock, it's him. Like we are from the go showing how incredible of a competitor he is, how brilliant, how just compassionate and endearing. Like we're showcasing Rob to the world because I think the world needs to see like how amazing he is and how great of a relationship that he has built and forged with his son. Like I wanted that from the beginning.
You just said all of these things that your father is on that first roadblock, but you didn't say stealthy or sneaky or because that first roadblock was so fantastic that when you got the answer and you just slowly backed away from everybody and no one expected you to help because I don't think anyone should help so early on necessarily, but just very quietly went off among your way. We were cheering for you because we're like, that is the guy. He's just kind and generous to everybody, but he's competitive. And that was a spirit that we saw throughout the race that we really, really enjoyed. So that was fun from roadblock number 1. I have a question. I'm going to try and sign it. Do you two ever fight? You always look so happy together. Was that okay? Did I do it?
I would agree. There weren't really any points where we had major conflict. You saw bits and pieces of things that would be pretty normal, you know, the taxi in India where my dad's like, come on, this driver's frustrating me. And I tell him, hey, calm down. Because we kind of agreed at the beginning, like getting frustrated, getting riled up isn't going to get us anywhere. So if we can channel that energy as much as possible and keep each other accountable to that, that's going to only propel us further in this game. So that was really important to us. Obviously, there's moments where you get frustrated being in the race. Like this is a level of adrenaline that is so foreign. And I can't imagine many people in their everyday life get to experience something like this, where you are going at 100% at all moments of the day. So it's really intense. And, there's moments where it's a brief, okay, I know to back off here. We're climbing up those stairs in Slovenia and I see Greg and John come after us. So I start pushing my dad up the stairs and he goes, no, take a second. And I go, all right, you're right. We take a second and we keep going. So there's like definitely moments where we kind of keep each other in check, but never anything that we let escalate.
You
What's
touched
that
on.
like? I'm sorry. I hear you say there's no time to argue. And I'm going, no, I promise there is. Like I was there. There's time for it. It doesn't work well. And you guys have shown how well you can do when you don't let the argument take over or the frustration take over. That's a lesson that Brice and I would say that I needed to learn from one of my spirit animals, Rob, is to not let the frustration take over. I'm going to try and employ that in my daily life. Sorry, Brice, I did not mean to interrupt you.
Oh, you're good. You talked about the steps in the express pass. I am curious, do you have a newfound respect for steps? And when you see steps now, do you think like, you know what? I'm going to just take the elevator or I'm going to stay downstairs for a little bit because the PTSD.
1,200. I think I saw somewhere online that the amount of stairs climbed was equivalent to climbing the Empire State Building. So for reference, that's basically what we did. So it was gnarly. Like that's a lot of stairs, and you don't really get the full perspective of it on camera because it's like a gradual increase, and then all of a sudden it's vertical, and you're rock climbing up those stairs basically, like hand over hand. Like it is steep. But we definitely so we've definitely agreed that if we do get the invite back, we're doing stadium stairs every day. Like that is like a part of the rigorous training program next time around.
Is there anything that they didn't show on the race that you wish that the world had seen? Or is there any, I know you don't get to see the other detours until the show airs, which I think is a very cool thing. Is there any task that you saw when the show was airing where you went, oh, that one was made for us, I wish we'd done the other side of something?
The one that I can think of is in Germany. Obviously, it was so cool that we accomplished the just for kicks with the soccer darts. And I now, looking back, would not change that choice because it was such an electric moment and so much fun nailing it, being the only team that did it. But when I saw what the task was for the mustard tasting, I was like, oh, we would have breezed through that. Like I knew what every one of those German words was. My dad loves mustard. And you get a brat after. We were so hungry, and we just kicked a soccer ball for a while and then moved on. So that's like the one change I think I would have made. And then all the other detours, it is, like you said, so cool to see how they actually play out and seeing the other team's strategies. I admired the way John and Greg did the serving challenge in Sweden. That was outstanding. And I think just a masterclass in execution and communication by them. So it was really cool getting to see the tasks that we didn't do. Yeah.
Rather than swimming around and trying to find your muscles, you mean? Because you were good. You can swim, man. He's going, he's not just looking around. You were swimming a lot. You weren't kidding when you talked about being like a water baby and a fan of the beach. You were quite good.
That was fantastic TV. It was hilarious seeing my dad's feet flip around like that. So I would change nothing in that one. We were good. We had the express pass. We were going to survive. Let's put on a show.
Yes.
Just thought of that.
Yes, I said that many times. Take off the vest. I didn't know, actually. Sorry, but I said to Brice, do you think safety divers are not allowing him to take off the vest? Because I knew you said you could swim and you weren't going to get deep enough or move fast enough with the life vest on. Did they tell you had to keep it on or no?
Yeah, it's kind of a blur.
That's
I think representation in the reality community is so important. And I think you guys representing the CODA community was just so amazing. Is there a message that you want to share, or what would you say your message is? Because again, like diversity and representation is so important.
Yeah, I could not agree more. I think representation is everything. If you can see a reflection of yourself on television, that's so inspiring, and that opens doors for you to believe that you can accomplish these things. So at the end of the day, I just want people to see the power of sign language in your relationship with a family, with a loved one, and the fact that, you know, we are so close because my family loved me and cared me enough to give me sign language as my primary language and really pull me into their world. If I hadn't been given sign language, we wouldn't have this relationship. If they had just said, you know what, like stick to the hearing world and not pulled me in, I wouldn't be where I am. We wouldn't be close enough to go on the race. And even if we had gone on the race, there's no chance we would have made it to the finish line. So that's, yeah, I agree.
I'm sorry. I know we're supposed to be asking questions, but you guys are just so damn heartwarming. I just want to just reach out and give you hugs. If Jesse, put them back on again, because I have never cheered. Brice and I sometimes don't agree on the teams we like the most, but we found ourselves coming back to talking about the two of you more than anybody else for, different teams for different reasons, like Joel and Garrett's positivity when the times were tough, or John and Greg's just like brotherly relationship and how they, related. But the way the two of you communicated and leaned on each other and just showed constant support, but without losing that competitive edge, which I think is rare. I think either they will show a team that supports each other and doesn't really have that drive, or a team that has that drive and doesn't seem so supportive. But the two of you, Rob, your competitive spirit is just a joy to watch. And Cory, you have it too. It's just, you said it yourself. People are just going to gravitate to your dad. Sorry. But I love the mix of competition and support. And it's not really a question. It's just basically a gushing. So I'm sorry about that, but it had to be said.
No apologies needed. Thank you. We really appreciate the kind words and support. It means a lot to hear how we're coming across.
I do have a serious question. Now that the race is over, will we continue to get the Rob and Cory YouTube channel episodes? Because it's become my favorite. I'm like, is it Wednesday yet? I need to see what they talking about. So are we going to get more episodes, or can we have it continue to something else? Please and thank you.
I love the support. We've talked about it a little bit, and I don't think we've come to a firm decision yet. So we got to talk about it. Yeah, I thought it'd be cool at the very least to, have like a little finale recap where we talk with John and Greg. We get Joel and Garrett on there and just kind of like reflect on the journey a little bit. So I think that at the very least, I'd like for us to do. So hopefully we keep the Rob and Cory talks alive. And if so, we'll let you know. One of these days we got to hop on a Purple Pants podcast though.
Open invitation.
The door is always open.
I love it. I mean, I've had so much fun. This has been my by far favorite interview of the day. So to do it again with you two, would love it.
I mean, that's great. That feels so good. Okay, so the next season is starting fairly soon. So I'm not going to speak for Brice, although I kind of think I can because I know how he feels about you. We would love to have you come on to an episode of the next season and break it down with us. Is there anything fun you're going to do with the money that you got from crossing the finish line? Any plans for a fun little trip or a party?
The first thing on my mind is Fiji, the Fiji trip. I want to enjoy being with my family and go swimming in the ocean and maybe surfing. We'll see.
I was just going to say, I think our plan is to take that money and take our family as like a big thanks to them because they were so involved and just vital to our, involvement in the show. My mom was crucial in our preparation, helping us figure out how to, break each other down and have more serious conversations, address our flaws and our communication styles. My brother was so heavily involved. He actually edited our recap, our first couple of recap videos and our application video. And then he taught us a little bit of choreography before we went on the race. He's a big dancer, and we knew that dance challenges happen without fail. So he taught me some skills on how to pick up dancing quicker. So it really was a family endeavor, and it's time we celebrate a successful run.
He did his part because you nailed the river dance. So there's no question that your brother did a good job in training you. I was actually just in Fiji, right where you're going to go. So if you need any recommendations, I can tell you where to go and what to do, because it was the most gorgeous place I have ever been. And I would go back. I will go back in a heartbeat.
I love it. I can't wait. We'll absolutely get the recommendations from you, Brooke.
Well, although you might not have won the race, you have certainly won the hearts of America, and especially Brooke and I. It's been a pleasure, and we look forward to seeing you and talking with you in the near future. And congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We appreciated it. It was so talking.
Stop. Pit stop. It's a pit stop. Pit stop. It's a pit stop. Pit stop. It's a pit stop.